Hi guys, welcome to my channel. Thank you for stopping by today on my channel. So I upload tutorial videos and pattern drafting right here on my channel. So of course you know what to do. Hit on that subscribe button if you're a lover of good things, because definitely you are on the right channel. So I'm going to share with you guys how to make this circle flare gown with a neckline slit perfectly. So guys, I'll just get started with today's tutorial without much ado. So here I'm working with this African print fabric, and I have 3 yards of this fabric here with me, guys. So we all know that African print is usually 45 inches long. Okay, so I'm actually going to fold this in a different way. So I'm trying to show you guys the width and the length of this fabric I'm working with. So I am not going to fold this from my side to the other side. Instead, I'm going to fold the length of this African print up to my desired length. Okay, so you can see that I folded from the top area. I didn't fold from my side. I folded from the top area downward. So if you watch carefully, although the camera didn't capture everything, but if you look very well, you'll notice that what I did, and what I have left is just a little piece. So I folded from the top. I folded from the length of this fabric. I didn't fold from the breadth or from the wideness. Okay, so I'm simply going to fold this to make sure that the upper part meets the side, which is the side I don't know if you can understand what I'm trying to explain here. So I'll fold this in a triangular or in a cone shaped manner. So this is what yours should look like, and trust me, you have your perfect full circle flare gown. So I went ahead to take the length of this, and I realized that it was actually much, so I just went ahead to refold, and that was all I did. So right here now I'm done folding, and I've gotten my desired length of fabric. So the first thing I went to do is to divide my shoulder into 2, and there I have 7.5 inches. I went ahead to make a straight line right there. So all my measurement now is going to be starting from there, which is my shoulder line. So on the shoulder line, I went ahead to mark my shoulder of 7.5 inches. So I also went ahead to mark 8 inches, which is also for my armhole length, my armholes actually, sorry guys. So now I'll go ahead and connect from my shoulder line down to this my armhole line of 8 inches. So after connecting this, now I'll get the midpoint of this my armhole, and I'm going to come in by half of an inch just this way, and I'm going to get my curve through, and I'm going to connect this from my shoulder line to this half inch I came down by up to my 8 inches for my armhole. So simply this is what I did, and the next thing I'm going to do now is to move over to my neck area. So I'm going to come down by a neck width of 3 inches and also a neck depth of 3 inches. So I'm going to mark both my front and back neckline here. So for the back neckline, I'm going to simply mark 2 inches, and for the front neckline I mark 3 inches. So these 2 inches I'm marking right here is for my back neckline. So I went ahead to also connect it just like this. So if you watch perfectly, you see what I'm doing. At some point I realized that I wasn't supposed to work with a yellow chalk, but thank God that is obvious and visible right here. So the next thing I went ahead to do is to take the measurement of the gown length I'm working with, and here I'm working with a gown length of 36 inches. So just like this, I'm going to place my tape right on my shoulder line. The shoulder line I marked at that upper area, and I'm going to start marking this. Just watch how I move my tape and how I'm marking this carefully and gradually. So what I'm marking here is 36 and 36.25. So that was what I'm actually marking here. So guys, just look properly and you will definitely grab everything I'm saying. So by the time you fold exactly the way I showed you how to fold right here, you don't need to add any joining to your dress, because trust me, I hate that thing honestly. Once I want to cut out, I cut out one piece. I hate joining my African print with any other thing. Okay, so after that, now I went ahead to draw a circle and also cut out like this. So guys, if you follow this procedure which I showed you right here, you're going to achieve just exactly the gown you saw at the beginning of this video, trust me guys. So the next thing I went ahead to do is to cut out my armhole area, and I'm just going to mark my shoulder slanting, of course, and from my shoulder I'm just going to mark half of an inch just like this and connect it into my armhole in a slanting manner just like this. So after cutting that out, the first thing I'll go ahead to cut out on my neckline is a 2 inches, which is for my back neckline. So after that, now I'm going to separate this I'm going to separate this gown at this at this other side, because if you fold this the way I showed you, you notice that one side is actually closed. So I'll separate these two pieces together. Now I'll separate these two pieces and I'll keep the back neckline separately so that I can cut the neckline for my front dress. So here, after folding, now I'll just simply go ahead now and cut out the neckline for this my front dress. So this is it, and guys, trust me, there is nothing else for this to be done to this front dress. Okay, so now I'll quickly move over to my back dress. So I'll just simply arrange this very well and make sure that every part aligns with the other. So now I'm going to move over to my neckline area and I'm just going to mark 5 inches. I previously marked 6 inches, but I later changed my mind. I marked 5 inches, and I'm just going to use my scissors and cut up to that 5 inches which I marked and stop exactly at that point. So I'm going to open this up so you see what it looks like, and this is what I have after making a slit at the back of 5 inches. So I'm going to work with this my bias tape right here. So firstly, I'm going to start by bringing one end of this my cutout slits, please not my neckline, the slits. So I made sure I put this my African print in between this my bias strip. If you're working with this bias strip, you'll realize that it is kind of ironed into small segments. So I forced it at the middle part and I went ahead to pin this using my pin, and even at the both sides of the slit. Okay, so I carefully did this, just that I fast forward this a little. So just carefully do this and pin this down. But if you feel like you want to work with your fabric, iron properly and also repeat the same procedure I'm doing here with my bias strip. So after this, now I went ahead to sew and you can see what it looks like. So after sewing, make sure that you iron this perfectly and generously. Okay, so I'm just going to get these two together. This is the back part and I'm going to sew just a little bit, as you can see where I'm showing you right here. So now I've gone ahead to do that on my sewing machine, and the next thing I'm just going to go ahead to show you guys is how to fix the loop for the button. Okay, so firstly I'm going to fold one side of this bias strip inwardly, just like this. I'm just going to place it inside and I'll just go ahead now and stitch it down a bit. So guys, please at this point just pay proper attention to everything I'm going to do right here, because this is like the most important part if you don't know how to actually give a slit to your neckline. So this is it now. By the time you stitch that part, is meant to overlap the other side. Okay, so this is me actually checking what I have. So the next thing I went ahead to do is to bring my bias strip and I folded it into two. So I'm just going to stitch it together. I'm just going to stitch this together so you can have a proper view of what I'm doing right here, because I brought my camera very close to my sewing machine so that you don't feel left out, so you just see everything I'm doing here. So after that, now I went ahead to fold this into two and you can see what I'm doing right here, and I brought my button and passed it through this loop to ensure that okay, this actually will fit by the time I stitch this. So I went ahead to mark where this loop is going to fit on my neckline. So I opened my bias tape like this and I placed it right on my neckline. If you can see and watch carefully what I'm doing right here. So I placed it exactly on my neckline. You can see what I'm doing. So I'm going ahead now to stitch this now open like this. So open up your bias strip or your fabric, whatever it is you are working with for this piping of your neckline. So you're just going to open this up just the way I did right here. So I'm going to stitch and stop exactly where that slit stopped, and I'm going to bring this out. So while sewing, when you get to that slit, you're going to add an extra 1 inch, which is going to serve as your turn up. Okay, so I went ahead now to do that, and By the time you do that, you're going to see that this is going to turn over to the other side and you stitch. So this is the other side of my neckline. I felt like I didn't really show you guys how to turn this up for the other side, so I went ahead to do it for the other part of my neckline, so you can understand better what I'm doing here. So you can see now this is not the part having the loop, but repeat this same procedure for the part that has the loop, and you're going to achieve exactly the same thing I'm going to achieve right here. Okay, so now for the loop, now you can see I've gotten it, and I'm going to place it, making sure that the part where the button pass through comes inward, like it's facing inward, like the right side of my fabric, and the other edge is facing the slit part of my neckline. I hope you understand what I mean. So I'll go ahead and stitch this just like this, guys, and I'll cut this out. I'm going to flip this now and you can understand better what I mean. So you can see it right here. So by the time I flip this to the other wrong side, the loop and everything is going to go inward, and I'm just going to stitch that. So this is how to perfectly stitch down your loop area. So I'm simply repeating this for the other side of my neckline, so you have a better understanding of what I did for the other side, which has my loop, if you didn't really understand what I did right there. Okay guys, so I went ahead now to stitch that the neck slit area, the part I slitted on my neckline. I don't know if I'm actually getting this explanation very well, but guys, just watch what I'm doing. After stitching it, you turn it over and you're just going to stitch just the same way I'm doing right here. Please, if you're doing this and if you're watching what I'm doing here properly, you will definitely not understand what I'm doing. By the time you just do all of this, it's automatically going and you have a neat finishing, guys. So this is all I did, and you can see how nice it came out. And guys, that is all for this neck slits. Okay, so now I brought it over to my table and I'm going to show you guys what it actually looks like. So after this, go ahead and iron this very well. By the time I fix my button, this is actually what it's going to look like. So I now brought my front dress and I'm just going to face them right side facing each other, and I'm going to stitch my shoulder and the side as well. So for the sides, I stitch using 1 inch, and for the shoulder I stitched using 1/2 inch. So I'll proceed now to cut my sleeve for this gown. So this is the remnants of my fabric. Like I told you guys, I'm working with 3 years of fabrics, and please don't forget that this fabric actually consists this style of dress actually consumes a lot of fabric. So I wanted to do this a bell sleeve, a full bell sleeve, but it wasn't working out because by the time I'll get my armhole, I'll be having a very short sleeve. So I went ahead to fold this into 4. You can see how I folded this into 4, and I'm just going to just try and make this a freehand dress actually. So from there, now I went ahead to come down by 4 inches, and on that 4 inches I came down by, I'm going to mark my armhole plus extra 1 inch, making it 9 inches. So I came in by 3 inches, but 3 inches. So I'm making use of this full fabric I have here, so you can see how I connected like this. I didn't take the width measurement or anything because I actually wanted to get a bell sleeve, but I was short of fabric. So I went ahead to cut out this my armhole area, and after cutting it, I'll trim the hem or the base of this my fabric. So after trimming right here, now I'm just going to open it up and get the midpoint of this my gown, of this my sleeve, I'm so sorry, and nudge it. And I'll also get my gown and I'll get the midpoint of my shoulder, and I'm going to place it right sides facing each other, and I'm just going to simply join this together. So just watch carefully all I'm doing, because at this point you can see that I've gone ahead to join this my gown together, both at the shoulder and at the sides. So simply do all of that and hem the base of your gown and your sleeve, or you weave it, so you can see the final look and you can see how full this dress is looking. This is a full circle flare gown. So thank you all for watching. I really do appreciate you guys for watching me at this point. And if you are yet to subscribe and you've come this far watching, I urge you to please subscribe to this channel. Trust me, it's never going to be a thing of regret. Thank you to all my wonderful and amazing subscribers. Thank you for the new subscribers I'm yet to get. And thank you everyone for supporting me and coming this far to watch me. I really do appreciate 100%. So till some other time, see you guys on the same channel. Bye.